What has experience taught you about how to better manage confrontation?
It's important for me when confrontation is happening or it's inevitable, it's important for me not to react when I'm in a hot state and react rather when I get back to like a cool state, right? And so sometimes if someone sends you an email that, really makes you angry, or you feel is just totally crazy, or is just out of line, it's the best thing to do is to not send something back immediately. You can write something immediately, but then don't send it. Sit on it for a little while and then reread it. And usually if you do that and you reread it, you go, whoa, this is not at all how I want to respond to this. And, since 90% of my communication every day is by email with most people, it gives me the opportunity to do that. If conflict arises and it's face-to-face or it's over the telephone, it's always about trying to understand that I'm in that hot state. If I'm agitated or I'm angry or I'm really frustrated, it's trying to take a step back from that and maybe take a breath, or even say, hey, look, I got to go. I got a meeting that's coming up. Give yourself that time to respond in a way, because conflict, there's a way, conflict can either be escalated or de-escalated. And escalation, in my experience, never gets you to the place where you ultimately want to be. I'm actively seeking ways to de-escalate a situation if conflict arises. And so there are a number of techniques that you can do. I've also found that an email is often a terrible way to communicate if there's nuance. And so sometimes if you feel that there's a misunderstanding happen that can ignite conflict, just pick up the phone. We're in a weirdly phone averse culture now, even though we have phones with us everywhere we go. In work relationships, it's sometimes feels weird now just pick up the phone to call someone. If you got a question, rather than sending them an email, it feels like more intrusive. But I've actually found it to be really effective and say, hey, I feel like there's something going on in this email exchange that we're just not quite getting. Let's talk about it for a minute. So I think those things really help. It's essentially about trying to either de-escalate a conflict that exists or put out a fire before it starts to blaze. So it's being conscientious about the potential and where you actually want to be rather than what feels good at that moment. Because sometimes it feels really good to be angry. Mm-hmm. I know we don't like to admit that, but sometimes it feels really, really good to be angry and have that outlet. But you got to take a step back and understand where you want to go and what's going to get you there.